want all of those.
Well, I want to. Okay, there we go. One's working.
Oh, these are
All
stickers. I was like, why does it still have the giant red dot on it? But
right.
these are stickers.
Yeah, there we go.
Sorry to interrupt, but Garrett, if you want to show me that deck really fast, I'll not bother you anymore. Appreciate
All right.
Oh wait. We have a thing that's
Now we
making
got something.
going up and down.
I think we got sound. Hopefully everyone can hear us. If not, we'll
I'm gonna.
we'll throw something in chat just to make sure.
Yeah.
If you
Please.
can't hear us, say something. Looks like we do have some viewers, so hopefully you guys are hearing us again. United States Nationals, you guys missed my whole super opening, and I feel bad because it was absolutely amazing, and I can't replicate it. Garrett Larson here with Casey Annis. We are doing the United States Nationals top 8. We've got Benji Chu versus Chris Kelly, Luke Saga versus First Order Reigns. This should be an interesting match. I think First Order is, in my testing, slightly advantaged. I think a lot of it's going to depend on if Benji can stay alive in space, and that's the kicker. So
We should hopefully be getting a deck list for these players soon, and we'll have an idea of what uh, what each is running.
yeah, it looks like Benji's starting the Cunning Warrior, Like My Father Before Me, and Walk Lane, and Chris is doing the shuttle start for the with You Know What I've Come For, starting Bow to the First Order and First Order Navy.
Um, Garrett,
Volume.
what? Yeah, what? So I've been talking in.
Yeah, I think we only have that mic live.
Okay, can you hear me louder than you hear Garrett? Is there a difference in the volume levels between the two of us?
Okay.
Okay.
So yeah, that is the issue. So let's see if I can figure out what this mic is
Um.
connected
Well,
to.
wait. Why don't you turn on Mike Aux 2?
There we go. All right. Now can you hear me a little bit better? We'll find out very quickly because our chat folks are absolutely awesome and stay on top of that. So there we go.
Okay.
Perfect.
Yeah, having a
So
microphone that's on tends to result in better
I'm
results.
I'm generally obnoxiously loud according to my wife. So you guys might actually prefer me slightly quieter. But looks like they are ready to start. We got an hour and 15 per
And Chris
side.
Kelly extends the hand, and that's the match.
So this should be an interesting match. I do think, like I said, I think Chris is probably slightly advantaged, but
Is there a way to make it overall? Is there like an overall volume slider?
I don't believe so. If there is, no, these are maxed.
Okay.
So it's they are. We're trying to get you guys play with some volume. Unfortunately, Dan had to head home to take care of some things, so the level of tech support is me and Casey, and between us, I'm confident we can work a cell phone, but that's about it for tech support. So you just get our dulcet tones, and we'll make it work. So Paulo used the
Benji.
or Benji. I'm gonna do that 20 times today, and I'm
Yeah.
gonna feel really bad. Benji used the Chief Chirpus Hut puller. So the one thing he's got going for him in this matchup is First Order, and I played it yesterday. It can get real force start. Everything costs money, and it all is expensive. And Benji may end up giving up close to zero force.
Yep.
Like he will decide when he wants to give up the force, and that will be a big deal. That will slow Chris down because like he can get the supremacy with Lieutenant Makata turn one, but then like he's not drawing anything, and all that stuff just adds up. So we'll see where it goes. And that is, I know there were two kind of distinct first order things that were being talked about yesterday, and I didn't see any other decks But I know there were some that were at least talking about starting with prepared defenses for a third effect instead of the Kylo.
Mm-hmm.
But Kylo gives you the Jakku sight, which is that one extra force
Yep.
on turn one, which is kind of important. And there we see Chris went and got Jakku with his objective. I'm curious if he's also running Hosen Prime.
He is.
Okay. I know what I played yesterday, I ended up pulling Jakku for Hosen because I didn't feel comfortable that I could hold 4 systems, and I wanted less places for them to run.
So Chris Kelly was not running Hosnian Prime last night or yesterday in this deck. He did play this deck yesterday. He did not run Hosnian Prime, and he is a teammate. So we did discuss this a bit last night. He wanted the Menace Fades protection. He thought that Menace Fades was going to be a key card today,
For
and
sure.
so it was one of the swaps into the deck for day 2.
Yep, and that's actually why I ran it yesterday. I ran Hosen Prime instead of Jakku because it also means you can lock the tracked fleet in place.
Mm-hmm.
Because with First Order Navy, most of your ships are hyperspeed 4. The tracked fleet can only go 3.
Yes, he's running Jakku as well. The other thing about Hosnian Prime is that Andrew Moss had a spicy bit of tech in his Mind What You've Learned deck. Yesterday he was running the Coruscant system, which allowed him to set up a system that the First Order couldn't get to unless they were running Hosnian Prime. So Hosnian Prime at Parsec 1 allows you to get to Coruscant against Andrew Moss's Mind What You Have Learned build.
Well, Jakku's a 4, so you should be able to get to Coruscant.
Can you get there from 4?
Yeah, because you have a hyperspeed of 4.
Okay.
But Navy
Not
adds
not the supremacy.
not the Supremacy, but all the other ships. So
Okay.
the Supremacy's hyperspeed 2, Finalizer, Full Matrix, Relentless, and Kylo's Shuttle are all 3s.
Okay.
So they become 4s with First Order Navy. So you can get there, but that might have also been a tech for if someone was not running either of the systems. I was just saying, hey, I'm going to take 2 and maybe play a heavier ground version. That would be.
Yeah, it wouldn't. This is this is Benji Chu. It wouldn't surprise me. Unfortunately, that's going to be a dead card in this matchup. But yeah, it wouldn't surprise me.
In this case, I will confirm that it is an uncontrollable fury because Johnny picked it up from me last night to play. I know I talk about this a lot on streams, and especially early in the match where there's not a ton going on. We'll talk about it. When you come out to an event, reach out to the community. If there's cards you want to play, you're not sure you don't have decks, come to an event. We'll get you played. We will find a way to make you able to play and have fun, and that's what is important on our end. It looks like Chris is force pushing. So after Benji threw down 3PO. So, but yeah, that Uncontrollable Fury will be a completely dead card this game. And honestly, being in his hand is great. It's the first card to lose to a drain and be perfectly okay with it. So, Chris is not showing us what he got, but I see the top card is a blue. I think that's Finalizer that he would have grabbed with Bow.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got 2 shields out. Are we sure one isn't one of them?
Yeah. I mean, he's got the grabber shield. I don't know what the second one is.
Yeah, it's name looks short, so I don't think it's that.
There's Finalizer.
Maybe.
Or he's gonna flash Dofeld actually.
Yeah, so he's gonna flash the zero cost guy to probably get Supremacy. So.
Yep. There we go.
Because you wanna the Finalizer. I like to try and save to pull Secret Plans would be reasonable. I like to kind of save the Finalizer pull to get like Hux or somebody. So we'll see Finalizer going to Jakku. Or Supremacy going to Jakku. So it moves from free from Jakku because of Jakku's text, but it moves to the tracked fleet for free anyways. So it doesn't really matter where you put it in that regard.
And then
Jakku is better for like finalizer. It gets you the freebie.
and then Chris gets to activate too when he gets there.
Yep. Which is actually a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and that's one of the big upsides of Jakku is if you can play the game of moving from Jakku to Dakar and back, you can get a couple extra force every other turn, which does add up. And there we see Chris move. Activating 2. I'm betting Uncontrollable Fury is going to be the first card stacked on the tracked fleet. It won't get revealed because it's not lost, but
There's been a lot of debate this event about whether it is correct to stack cards on tracked fleet or just let the first order deck flip. So I'm curious to see what Benji decides to do here.
yeah, I mean, like in this case, if you just let it flip, it's still just a drain of 1.
D Tartagon, thank you for the 6 years.
Dan is here with us in spirit, even though he needed to head home. And, thank you, Dan, for coming out yesterday and all the work you put in. This is, this keeps the game active and alive for a lot of us, and being able to stream, and folks who can't make it here can watch and experience that FOMO of not getting to lose to Benji and, not getting knocked out of top 8 by someone who wasn't alive when most of us started playing cards is a feeling. I'm super happy for him.
I think we all are.
So Benji's got a bunch of characters in his hand.
I think the only person who's not happy for Benji right now is Chris Kelly.
I mean, maybe Brian Mishke, who he...
Maybe Brian Mishke.
Brian Mishke finished 9th, and it had to go through tiebreakers a couple steps. Was
no, apparently.
So
we were wrong about that. Apparently, the tie was between Mishke at 9th and Batmouse at 10th.
Oh, okay.
Not Mishke and Benji.
All right. Well, then Mishke has no reason to be mad at Benji.
The person who spread that rumor was Chris Kelly. So.
Chris was very happy Benji made top 8. He just doesn't want to make top 4. That's a valid viewpoint. I think Benji's got to figure out a battleground site. Like, he needs to start causing damage as well.
Yeah, well, there's the Cloud City battleground site, and it's very, very tough to go after Luke there.
And I don't see any ships in Benji's deck. So this is just...
there was that one?
Wild card, maybe.
Yeah. I mean, the Luke Saga deck, unlike the Anakin Saga deck, which plays Polis Massa, the Luke Saga deck really doesn't run much in the way of space. Maybe, like we said, maybe a wild card.
Yeah, I could see that being either a wild card or a Tanev. It's just something to...
General Han was in there, so it might have been a Tidarium. That's
could have been.
Which is important that Chris Kelly doesn't get. Tidarium's one of those things that can run through one of the Star Destroyers, drawing multiple Destiny, but at the same time, Chris is going to want to prioritize resistance in this matchup, so he's going to want to spread to 3 battlegrounds, but he's got to be able to make sure that he can hold 3 battlegrounds.
So in there,
it is big that it appears that Benji doesn't have a Luke to go down just yet. He's going to start out with Yoda. And that's, of course, going to limit his damage.
Well, I think Yoda's fine. I think putting the first guy out right away is the play.
Sure, some damage is better than
a bunch
no damage. But if he had a Luke, it would have put some early pressure. He has the Tidarium in his hand now. He just drew into it. So it's possible he has 2 ships.
So Logan's saying the line with 3 systems move. I'm still not entirely sure that... I think what Casey was saying is right. There's...
Oh, is that... I've been trying to figure out who that was all
That's Logan,
weekend.
Yeah. There's a line there because when you move it to Jakku, now the only place it can go is back to Dakar. So all Chris has to do is deploy a ship to Dakar, which is now deploy -2 from the Navy, and then just move one of them to Jakku. So you're back at the point where no matter what happens with the fleet, it's getting annihilated.
No, Dan.
No, Dan, no one plays tractor beams except for Batmouse. They work for Batmouse. They don't work for normal humans.
Did I bring that up to him at the bar last night? Sure did. Did he agree to do it? No, he did not.
Yeah, Logan, but moving to crate adds 1 icon to him. It's nice, but it's not that impactful. It looks like he missed a pull there. So I think he was trying to pull probably the Salt Plains. So I'm wondering if he's only running, if the 2 pullable battlegrounds he's running are just the Salt Plains and Jakku, and then Hosian Prime.
Yes, I believe he cut the second crate site for Hosian Prime.
I think that makes sense. I played without the second crate site completely. There's no benefit to the second crate site. It just gives you a spot for people to run away. I put in the other supremacy site.
Yeah.
Because if they want to take it, you just got to devote 2 guys to it, and okay, then we can worry about it. And there we see Hux.
Hux and PV on the finalizer.
And PV, and hopefully he paid the correct amount for PV, because PV's not an admiral for we're in attack position now, so he is only -1, not -2. But we see the bow pull from Hux. Each coast gets 1 tractor beam player, and you already have Kingery.
Yeah. I'm going to deal with a quick technical issue while I leave you with Garrett momentarily.
All right. So keep things going. Chris is just doing his thing. Moved the finalizer from crate to Dakar to get the 2 activation, and then I expect he'll move the supremacy to Jakku to lock the fleet in place. Although he's at least thinking about it. I think he is a little concerned that, if he moves just the supremacy. So the one thing is the supremacy is fully immune with tracked fleet. So if Benji wants to attack the supremacy, he's got to let that fleet get blown up first. And Chris puts Snoke on the supremacy to make it immune to less than 12 once the tracked fleet is blown up, and gets another bow pull out of it. So he's just trying to put his deck together, which makes sense. Like, that's the play. And Benji had pulled battle plan, so Benji still has no loss pile. Oh, he took sand. Sand matters because it forces Benji to have the My Sister Has It. It's 1 more card. Like, Benji's got to play smart. He's got to have the My Sister Has It, but at the same time, Chris gets to force him to have it, and it gives him 2 cards to potentially pull from that he can decide if and when he needs them and how to take them. So it looks like Chris ended up just deploying the finalizer to Dakar instead, and does exactly what so he moved the supremacy to Jakku. So now the tracked fleet is locked in a spot where it's going to be blown up either way. I mean, in theory, if Benji's got the perfect, the Tidarium, the full setup, you go after the finalizer right here and then move the fleet in front of you, but that's a risk. And there, Benji's playing a Jedi's Focus to go digging. He does that before he considers playing to drain. This is the first of the top 8 matches. There's all 4 matches. They're on the pairings are on the forums. This is, the first game of the top 8 match. Benji Chu versus Chris Kelly. Benji came in as the 8 seed, and awesome. Chris was one of the top 4, because we do randomize for the first match. Someone from top 4 is playing someone from top 8. That way it takes away a lot of the impetuous to spend the night trying to tweak for a specific opponent or specific deck type kind of thing, which I'm a big fan of. So looks like Benji's thinking about getting spicy. Like, I see the Tidarium. It looked like there might be a Han in there. Like, he was counting his force. I'm wondering if he's thinking about making that play at finalizer. There's a Leia. Like, finalizer with PV's immune to less than 10. PV and Hux each forfeit for 5, so you need to, or it's actually immune to less than 12 with, we're in attack position now. So Yep, there's Benji. Says, all right, let's rock. Throws down the Tidarium. Throws General Han on as a pilot. Is he going to do the peak? General Han should let him look at the top two. There we go. We see a young Skywalker and the take a seat. So I'm pretty sure we'll see young Skywalker put back on the top. Yep. So there's a 6. He needs a 12 to crack Finalizer, and if he cracks that 12, it will blow up the Finalizer. And there's Leia, Princess Leia. Yeah, I mean, seeing these cards for sale in a store is going to be unlikely. So Finalizer is immune to less than... I thought it's 10 with... Or it's 8. It's 10 if there's a resistance character, which General Solo is. And then it's 2 more from the we're in attack position now. So it should be immune to less than 12. Mm-hmm. And... Yeah, Benji's going. Benji's starting the battle. We know he's got a 6 on top because he revealed it with Solo. Oh, yeah, it was... it's not Secret Plans Chris has out. Oh, he's not Resistance? Okay.
No, he's Rebel.
All right.
Yeah.
The image is real small up here, and I'm real old and forget things. So, all right, so yeah, then it's just 10. So PV will make it immune to 8, and we're in attack position now, adds 2 to it. And Benji gets 3 draws, one of which is a 6. This could get rough. Like, I wonder if Chris is thinking of grabbing... Oh, Chris is not even grabbing a card off of Sand. He said, I don't need those cards. It's not worth it. And Benji draws a 12.
Draws 12.
So, and Chris draws a 4, I think.
Yep. Okay. So this is not gonna help. Unfortunately, this is a tech card that Chris is playing in this matchup, and Wounded Wookiee is gonna let him cancel all but 2 of the Battle Destinies. Unfortunately, canceling all but 2. Or no, actually,
No,
Chris
2
gets
would
to
be...
Chris gets to choose.
Yeah,
Sorry,
so
Chris
Chris
gets to
keeps
choose.
his immunity.
So he will cancel the 6.
Yeah, he'll leave the 5 and the 1.
He'll leave the 5 and the 1, and this is going to get him out of it.
All right, that is a spicy tech play. I like that.
Yeah.
So, and if he's going to cancel, so he plays it, I'm sure, yeah, he cancels the 6. So then Benji's going to be down a little bit in power. He's going to have to figure out as well.
Mm-hmm.
I do think he probably moves the fleet over. And I mean, Chris has got to be a little concerned about trying to battle back into him. Like, Chris doesn't have a ton of cards in hand.
Yeah,
Like, you can't really start that battle because you blew your Wounded Wookiee. Like, how many of those do you have?
he's only got 1, unless he's got a no escape for it.
Yeah, that'd be strong.
There's also just the question of, like, does he have, like a Kylo or something he can throw on the Finalizer to maybe soak up...
yeah, if the fleet is moved, Chris can't deploy, so Chris would be battling with an empty...
Logan, does that include deploying passengers onto the ship?
Yeah, I'd have to... Here, I'll look that up real quick while you talk.
Yeah, starships, right. But Benji is going to peel a few to that battle. Yeah, so as long as he can't deploy starships,
deploy pilots.
Right. So as long as he can reinforce the Finalizer with enough forfeit fodder to cover, probably like 12 to 14 attrition.
Oh yeah. Yeah, he can't move it to crate. So, and I'm not sure I would have anyways. Like, I'd rather Chris be limited to only being able to put forfeit fodder up there, not a whole nother ship.
Yeah.
Like, it would be real bad if he was like, here's the captain and Fulmatrix and went nuts. So yeah, Benji peeled a few to keep everyone alive, which I think was the right play.
Chris just pulled Secret Plan, so I'm assuming that the other shield he had out is probably a sack shield.
Yes, he's not a baby anymore, but yes, Benji Chu made a top 8 over his dad, And
He beat his father in the final game of the Swiss.
And everybody here is super happy for him. I hope everybody on stream is happy for him. Like, this was I knew as soon as it happened, I was like, yep, I want Benji on stream. I think everybody's going to enjoy that. Yeah, I mean,
totally agree.
Hobby.
There, all right, so there's the no escape. He did have it.
All right.
So that's huge for Chris.
I mean, that's gonna be rough. Although Benji's destiny is probably high enough, there's at least a chance he still pulls out a 656 type thing that still creates a problem. Chris does throw the captain on there. He throws a trooper of some sort on there. Yeah, he's just loading up forfeit.
I think Chris has both lines covered. He's going to have enough forfeit to satisfy.
Yep.
And it's only even going to matter if Benji draws. Yeah, like you said, a 656, something along those lines.
Yeah, so that's going to be. It is. So if he pulled the anti-sac shield, I'm wondering if Wounded Wookiee is immune or not. Wounded Wookiee is not immune to sense, so in theory, if Benji drew into a sense, he could play it to cancel that, and even with the anti-sac shield, like, if he draws 3 good destiny, that would be very worthwhile. And Chris is all in on forfeit fodder as he just throws a walker on there as well, which is, honestly, Chris is perfectly happy to do that as... Oh, he changes his mind. Finalizer might not be able to hold vehicles. One of them...
I can look that up.
There was something... One of them can't or something, I remember from playing. There's a one where you're like, I can't sack this on there because it's great to have just as forfeit fodder because his objective...
Finalizer cannot hold vehicles.
That was it. So... they're great to stack for forfeit fodder on the other ships because you're like, oh, okay, well, I'll lose 7 and then I'll deploy it from lost pile. Like, that's that can get a little silly in the War of Attrition game when you can just keep deploying them from lost.
He's got how many characters in his hand? There's
Apparently
Phasma.
His hand is all characters, and there's Phasma to get another bow pull. And that isn't a terrible thing because you shuttle down to crate for free. The passenger, he's got a Phasma, and I think...
A couple of troopers, I think.
Yeah, and it's got a little bit of shine, so I'm not sure. I think it might be one of the FNs. So it's just, they're warm bodies, and then I'm assuming Chris is planning to, if need be, move to crate and shuttle them down because it is free to shuttle, and that would be a solid way to go with that. Excuse me. And shut down some retrieval, shut down that Yoda drain.
Applek.
There's Applek as well.
All right, so that's big because that'll get him a second destiny.
Yeah. Benji's in some trouble here. Like, Chris had the answer for what Benji was doing, and sometimes that's what happens. And Benji barriers the Applek.
That's a good play.
That's a good play. Now, my one concern is now, if Chris has first strike, this is game over.
Sure. I don't know
because
that...
then you pull a card off sand, and...
I don't know that Chris plays that card.
So, it's possible he does not. I think it's a good card, especially with Snoke causing extra pings. Mm-hmm. So, but it is card 58 or 59 for sure. There are a lot of cards you'd like to include in there that are tough to include sometimes.
Yeah.
So, looks like Chris is probably grabbing a 4th shield here. So at least thinking about it. I'm still not sure what that first shield play was. So, just grabbing the oppressive enforcement shield. So, probably wasn't there's no try. And there we see Chris starting a battle, I think. And Benji's got no forced saves, so like if he's got, I think he's got the Hujix, but I think it's the combo, so he can't play the. You might be right, Logan. It could be the double. There's no try and oppressive. So if Benji senses the wounded warrior, wounded Wookiee, he can.
I didn't
send it to
see
used.
Benji draw into a sense last turn, and he certainly didn't have one.
Yeah, I didn't see it either. And if he'd had
turn.
one on his turn, he'd have played it because that would have blown it out. So
Oof,
there, Chris gets 2 because
good.
Phasma with the trooper. And
all right, so 6. That 1 is just
Yeah, the 1 is brutal.
Yeah, because Chris can play Wounded Wookiee again, and that's going to be a total of 5.
Yeah, I mean, yep, there's the Wounded Wookiee again to make it a total of 5, and Chris's draw was solid. I don't know if Benji can afford to peel here. Like, that's going to be an expensive.
No, it's a lot of power.
Yeah, I mean, because Benji's power 10-ish.
I'm going to get the power totals.
Okay, yeah, Benji should be approximately 10. Chris has got to be. Casey's going to go check on him for us, but just napkin math, we're talking Benji's down 10, 12 force at least. So let's see what Casey's got for us, and thank you all for joining us on here. Like, this is awesome. It is so much fun to do this, and again, absolute cheap pop. If you can make it to a live event, the next live event is going to be Worlds in October in Seattle, Washington. The information is on the forums. Benji is peeling. So everything I've heard about the Seattle Worlds is awesome, and
Benji's down by 21.
Benji is down by 21 according to Casey and the math, and I think he's counting to figure out if he can peel that much and how to handle that. I mean, so this is match play. It is differential based. So you do want to, stick to trying to save as much force as you can. So 21, he's got less than that in forfeit. Up at the system, the Tidarium plus Han is like 11, Leia's another like 7, so he might have to peel like 3 and then still lose the system. Seattle Worlds is going to be outstanding. I'm excited it's being run there. I'm excited everyone's having fun. I don't think I will be making it out there, but I know a lot of folks are going to be, and the Seattle group is awesome. It's a lot of very fun, very good players, and if you can make it, you should, because there is nothing better than a large Star Wars CCG event. Like, it doesn't get more fun than this. You come out and watch it and have fun. And yep, Benji, I think peeled enough to take everything else off of there, so he didn't want to use the Hujix. And he peeled, I think, 4, and then lost the Tidarium and everybody involved. And now I think we're going to see. I mean, Benji can theoretically get one more turn with moving the fleet, because Chris couldn't just spread them out. With where the fleet was, Benji was going to be able to move it to a system he didn't have. So Benji's down to about 20 cards down, it looks like. He counted out 15 force, and that what's left in his reserve deck pile looks a little small. He does have a handful of cards. Like, it's not over here. He got Chris to devote a lot of cards in play for that one battle.
He's in a pretty rough spot just because he hasn't been able to leverage the time he's spent stalling Chris in space to do any damage himself.
Yeah, there we see the drain of 2, and Chris loses a First Order Trooper and a Walker, which is I'm not going to worry about these guys.
Yeah.
And there we
Okay,
see.
well he's gonna get everything back because
All right,
he's able to Unita the Tidarium and MWYHLv for Han back.
And he's probably running 2 Leias. So I don't
See an Anakin.
Yeah.
This is another character in the back of his hand there. Hard to see what that is.
That Anakin would actually make things a little interesting if you put that as the third, as the other passenger, adding 1 to each of those battle destinies.
Yes.
Would add up real quick. But he's going to need that third, and he's got to wait a turn to do it because he doesn't have the Force right now.
No, he's just going to go over to Crate.
Okay, I like this. It'll give him a turn to build it because now he'll move the fleet to Crate. So, and yeah. Oh, he did not move the fleet. All right. I guess. Maybe he doesn't have the Leia and didn't want to risk the fight necessarily.
Yeah,
but
possible he's just trying to satisfy battle order.
Yeah, it is, but I think he's got to understand Chris is going to move in front of him, so it's, this way Chris is going to drain for 2 and 2 instead of 1 and 1. So the moving the fleet might have saved him a Force overall. Because he doesn't have Menace Fades out, so.
Why is it 2 and 2 and not 2 and 1?
There's 2 guys at each. Actually, it'll be.
He hasn't a Crate location, so the 2 guys at each doesn't come into play. He gets +1 at the car from the finalizer.
Yeah, he gets
Jakku's range should just be 1.
I didn't think that needed a. Oh yeah, never even realized that. Didn't look at that part of the card close enough. I think because I always had a Crate location. So there we see the salt flats come down and Kylo's shuttle at the flats. So that might be why he chose not to drain.
Yeah, this is big now because if he can play Kylo down to the flats, then that will turn off all of Benji's drains for the moment.
He can still drain with the Tidarium. It has a permanent pilot plus Han.
Oh, it does have a permanent pilot.
Yep, it does have a permanent pilot plus Han. So that's why it gets the 2 destiny always with Han, because the permanent pilot has ability of 2 and Han makes it a 5.
Got it.
So it would stop and he does occupy the salt flats, so he's not going to drain with Yoda. Or no, he's got to get Kylo at the flats to stop the drain. It's now occupying the flats means Benji's retrieval's shut off. It's you need Kylo there to do the can only drain with one person. So we see Supremacy moving to Dakar, and Chris activates 2. We'll see the finalizer. Yep, move to Crate for 1, and then I expect to see some free shuttles. Yep, there's a couple troopers. And is that Hux? Yep. So there's no Kylo there. So Benji's still going to be able to drain with Yoda. But he's got to. He hasn't 3PO'd this turn. And I think it's a function of I don't think he's got a lot of high destiny in his hand. His hand is heavy with characters.
Is Han still alone even when he's with a permanent pilot though?
No.
So
Han is not alone.
Why does Mara Jade in Decimator work that way then? Because while it's alone, it has a permanent pilot, but while it's alone and piloted by an Imperial,
it's a lone. So the ship itself is alone because it's the only ship. But Han is not alone because there's other ability there. So there are no. Okay. If Mara's alone at the system,
Yeah.
If the Mara ship is the only ship at the system, Mara is the only card present at the system with ability. Therefore, it is alone because all of the other cards are on Mara and not present at the system.
Got it. Okay.
So, and this is where Greg jumps in and explains that while I'm correct in my reading, in the way it gets ruled, I'm drastically incorrect in how I'm explaining it, and that would be very possible. So, all right. So chat went down here. Apparently, Dan.
That cycles through a few times.
Yeah, Dan thinks we're nerd fighting. No, Casey and I are politely discussing something of drastic importance, and it is a weird rules interaction that you need that all players should kind of understand and know. Okay, what am I looking at here with how this goes? So let's see what Benji does here. He's counting his force. He's checking it. Like, all right, so there's another Jedi's focus. He's hoping to find Leia. I saw a Lando. Not seeing another Leia. I'm not sure who that last character on the top is, but I think if it was Leia, Benji would have snap grabbed it and moved on. But he is checking what else he's got in there. That makes sense. And he grabs Luke's lightsaber.
There was a LSJK in there.
Yeah, I saw an LSJK. I saw the Corrin, or not Corrin. I saw the Lando, but there was, I thought, a third character. I'm just not sure who it was. There's the 3PO that gets him another Luke. So he's got a young Skywalker in hand as well, and maybe he's going to try and make a run at the Salt Flats and see if he can make a game out of it, which...
He's going to go down with the young Skywalker.
You know, good for him. Like, again, he's not giving up. He's working hard. Like, this is awesome. With the bionic hand, so he's immune to less than 8 and power 10-ish now.
Yes.
So, and I thought I saw there's a Sari. It looks like a Sari and a Clash in hand. So he probably won't be looking at 2 Destiny from Phasma, I don't think. I'm more wondering what he's gonna. I think he'll probably just fly the Tidarium over to Jakku then. Like, just keep it alive in space for the moment. So there's the Anakin. So he's
battling.
Yeah, I mean, he's gonna make a battle here, and he's not out of this game yet. Because he'll also be able to pop the resistance shield, so it'll be drains of 2 and 2, and if he can actually take him off the system or off that site, he could make it interesting. Like, if he's limiting Chris to 1 Destiny and he's immune to less than 8 and immune to less than 4, like, it's not a gimme that Chris will clear either one of those guys. So, although he is going to have to figure out how he wants to handle the little trooper that cancels
the swing. Yeah.
The cancels one of the swing destinies. Now, it might just be his destiny are high enough. He says, "I don't care."
He's going to clash. I assume that he's going to clash Phasma. I think I'd rather clash the cancel trooper and then sorry about the mess Phasma.
Yeah, I think it's so this way. He doesn't have to use the Sari this turn. So, and he might not have a Sari actually. Looks like he's only got 2 cards in hand, and the
one of them
combos a Hujix.
Combo. Yeah.
So we might not have seen a Sari, which
that would make that play better.
Yeah, I think the play there either way is you take out one of the troopers and then hit the other.
Who's piloting the walker?
Might be Hux, I think.
If it's Hux, I would still probably want to clash the cancel trooper and then hit Phasma, who's no longer adding a Destiny anyway.
Yeah. So I tend to agree with you. I think I would have clashed out the Baby Trooper and hit Phasma to make it harder for him to get to Destiny later.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think it's a wrong enough play that I'm bothered by it, if that makes sense.
Sure, absolutely.
Like, I think it's a good enough play in there. We see the Chris takes the other walker off of Coarse and Rough and Irritating. Oh, is that General Solo? That's not.
Solo.
Yeah, so not General Solo. So Benji's got a. I think he thought he had an interrupt he could make use out of, and
Yeah,
I don't think
unfortunately,
he
once you
does.
search your lost pile with Solo, or is he doing the young Skywalker retrieval?
Could be using the young Skywalker retrieval just to. Nope,
Nope, it's Solo.
he is soloing, and that's a or
That is a sorry.
what is he? He's bionic hand.
Oh, yep.
The bionic hand exchange. So
Sure.
he's doing the once per game and putting down the LSJK to grab the sorry combo. So yeah, the name on that's got to be Han Optimistic General. The name on there is way too long.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, he drew a 0.
oh
Or it's a 1, but still.
no, it's a 0 because he took a card off sand, so it can't be modified.
Oh.
So it's not even play. It would have been 2 otherwise.
Yeah.
That was rough, and Chris drew high enough to kill the Anakin.
That's tough.
That's real rough because we know Chris has got another walker to come down with now.
He's just going to land the shuttle.
Yeah, I think you got to do that. Ooh, that's rough. Well, there's a Padme that could make
very
things
unfortunate.
a little interesting. And that Han cancels Kylo's game tax, correct? So if Chris comes down with a Kylo, he's not going to get. He'll get a bow pull out of it, but like if it's an EPP Kylo, he won't be able to swing, and any other Kylo won't have any immunity. I'm not sure what all was going on there. Oh yeah, Benji had to use one to land Tidarium. Shuttling is free for Darkside. It is not free to land for Lightside.
Correct.
So Benji should pop the ultimatum shield here, I think. But Chris is still going to drain for 4. Chris has an its worst combo in hand. I love that.
It's a great tech.
Alright, so Chris is activating. He's got, looks like about 20 cards down. So Benji needs to start trying to pour some damage through here. Because, he can't drain now he can still drain with Yoda. And he can retrieve because the salt flats aren't controlled. But, I think Chris just drops another walker there and, just goes for straight power. He might take the tentacle off of sand as well. Chris is counting up his force here. It's still not over for Benji. Like, he's scrambling, but he's trying, and he's trying to come back. And Chris activates one more, leaving 3 in reserve total. That feels like he wants to come down with Kylo, but I don't see a Kylo Saber, so if he comes down with Kylo, it's just EPP, and Han will cancel attacks. Benji does not put out ultimatum, so he does take a drain of 3.
Does get rid of that 0, though.
Yeah, he's probably all right with that. Then the 5-3, which was the Lando and Hera, he drew for Weapon Destiny. So the Bionic Hand pulling. Oh, you're right. He's not at 3 locations. He was. When I was suggesting he pull it, I was thinking he was going to move Tidarium over to Jakku. But without that, yeah, he's only at 2. It wouldn't have helped him anyways. So we see Chris loading up, and he drops a first order trooper. He drops FN. He drops another walker. That FN's going to be a problem because he's just going to cancel Luke's text and ability to swing. There's Cardo, I think, who shoots for. Probably going to try and shoot Han.
Yeah, I mean, Benji's still holding the Hujix, but this is probably going to wipe the site, you would think.
Changes to P59 instead of Cardo. So, yeah,
Seems better.
I gotta imagine this wipes the site. I can't. Like, you're only getting one Battle Destiny, but Chris is at 6, 12,
It's a lot of power.
15, 19, 21. Yeah, Chris is at like 23, 24-ish power to Benji's 8, 12. Like, that's. Looks like game one, we got Matt Scott winning by 20 in his matchup.
What?
Matt Scott beat MHT by 20.
MHT? Okay.
So, congrats to Matt. That was one of the other top 8. We actually didn't go through who the other top 8 matchups are. We were trying to get this running and figuring out sound.
This one.
Yeah, I mean, this one's the one that matters. So, with Matt Scott MHT, I think we've got another one on Sam Tashima's stream.
Yeah, that is Hayes and Andrew Moss. Yep. And then Brian Fred and Joe Horby is the.
So there's P59 shooting solo with a tracked 7.
Yes, Kyle, there is a matchup.
Yeah, there were 2 decks, Kyle. One of them was apparently better than the other by 20. So, unfortunately, we're doing this all live, but we're kind of in a back corner and didn't get a chance to go look.
I'll go scout decks.
All right, you go scout decks while I hold down the fort and chat with people. So, Benji's in a rough spot here. So, Chris did hit FN to cancel Luke's game text. Chris draws a 4 for Battle Destiny. Benji draws a 5.
Matt Scott was playing first order against MHT's No Idea.
Okay, so the match that was by 20, Matt Scott played first order Reigns versus MHT's No Idea. That's a match that's definitely in the favor of first order, I believe. I won it yesterday. I'm not good enough to brag about things like that too often, so it is definitely a match that is in their favor. We see Chris lost the FN and the First Order Trooper to the Battle Destiny of 5, and Benji lost the site.
Andrew Moss is playing his Entanglements deck, no surprise there, and Hayes is playing Rescue the Princess.
So, the Andrew Moss versus Hayes match, Andrew is playing Entanglements, and Hayes is playing Rescue the Princess. And I think that might have been a response to seeing as much First Order as out here, is Rescue definitely has a good matchup into First Order. Like, you need to get Decree Virtual out right away, or they're just going to overwhelm you with damage. So we see Benji pays 3 to drain with Yoda, and Chris loses a couple from hand. And there's no impetuous for Benji to draw up or anything here. It is differential based, but Chris doesn't have any retrieval. And Chris could have theoretically grabbed that tentacle that's sitting on sand off of it to talk about opening, adding one more to his potential diff, but I think he's still got some cards in hand, and I think Benji's just trying to kind of figure out what, if anything, he can do here. Did you get the last matchup?
So the final matchup is Brian Fred is playing First Order, and Joe is playing Hitco.
So we have...
Which is what he played yesterday. I don't believe that Joe changed any decks.
So
I don't believe that Andrew changed any decks.
4 of the top 8 on Hitco? Or on First Order?
First Order...
Or no, 3 Entanglement, and then First Order, First Order, First Order.
We have 3 First Order decks being played currently, and an Entanglements.
Yeah, so...
And we don't know, obviously, what the 4 competitors playing light side are on for dark side.
Yeah, I know. Well, I know what I did Hayes' deck check, so I know what his dark side is. I will just say it is not first order, and but first order is making a showing in here, and we put how many people who did we have 3 first orders make the top 8?
I don't recall.
Okay, I know there was talk, and I know it played well.
Yeah.
I know Batmouse and I played
Benji's
it.
losing a lot of force here. Big drains from Chris Kelly.
Yeah.
And now he's just got to think about maximizing his life force.
Yeah, and Chris has got enough cards in hand. I think this is it's really a does he have Kylo? All right, so he's putting down BB8, who he's just gonna, or BB9, who he's just gonna then send to used to break the cover of the spies that aren't there. Benji's double checking it like, oh, that's rude of you. And he throws down another trooper just for giggles. Really, with Chris, like if you're not playing Kylo, I don't see any point to play anything else there. You're not going to get them. You're going to eat a drain of 2, and that's probably going to be about it. Like, there's the drain of 2, and Chris loses them from hand because this is not his first top 8. He's well aware of the differential rules for play, and so Benji's looking at drains of 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
You know what I've noticed is Benji has peeled battle damage a few times in this game, and he's still holding that Hoojix past the point of any viability.
Yeah, I mean, I think the Hoojix would have saved him. I didn't love peeling the 4 with that battle, but I think the thought process he might have been going with was he was planning to get those cards back between the Unita and the JediLev, and wanted to save the Hoojix for that battle because he wasn't going to have nearly as much forfeit to get through it. So I think the logic there was sound.
This will do it because Benji no longer has enough to.
Benji grabbed the.
He grabbed. No, that's a good play.
Yeah, no,
that
was very smart play by Benji. Chris played the Bith Shuffle or the Omnibox. It's worse. And Benji, with his 1 force active, just said, "I'm going to grab it." And Chris went, "Wait a minute, I didn't realize you had the grabber." I mean, it doesn't really matter. It's if it's in hand, it doesn't count towards differential, anyways.
Right.
So now he's playing it again. I don't know what.
Gonna grab it?
He's also not shuffling. I'm not sure what's going on here. Yeah. So.
And then Benji's gonna grab it. Okay.
Yeah, Benji's grabbing it. That's the right. Smart play by Benji. Like it is those little things that it doesn't really. You look at it and say, I don't know how much difference this is going to make, but at the same time, it's still 1 card, and it was a. There's no reason not to do that, so let's do it, and then it should be a. Yep, there was the last drain. So
let's find out the differential.
Yep. We're going to go get a double check on differential for sure. It does look like it was relatively high. I would have said in the 20s. Game 1 results. Oh, I already had that up there. Unfortunately, I didn't. Game 1. So we'll get the lost pile counts as well. 20? Okay, so Chris by 20 in game 1. We'll add that to the show. So yeah, Chris won game 1 by 20. I'm going to throw us on mute here for a second while they stack everything up, and then go back to take a short break for a couple minutes while they stack everything up and I drink a little bit of water. We will be back in a moment, folks. right, looks like they are packing things up, getting ready for the next game. Should probably change these things on here. So now light side is going to be Chris.
Are we still live?
Yeah, I turned us back live because I thought they were getting started here in a second.
Okay.
Here, you want me to mute it for a second?
No, they may take a minute. Let me see if they're going to start right away or they're going to.
Sounds good. So Casey's gonna check real quick.
If I can get you a break, I want to get you a break.
Casey's gonna check real quick and make sure they're not.
Yeah, they're doing a short bathroom break, so you can.
Okay, so they're gonna take 5. I'm going to put us on a short break again. right, folks, looks like they are getting back started here. Benji looks like he is busting out Watto, which is exactly what I would have expected from a Chew to bust out and play here in the top 8 of a national championship. And Chris is busting out the new Mind What You Have Learned. So we're seeing Chris, the design advocate, playing both new deck archetypes in top 8, and I'm here for it, although it is going to involve a lot of me having to read and try and remember what cards do, and we'll see how that works. So Chris starts Yoda's Hut with Yoda, Belden's Corridor, I Must Be Allowed to Speak, Battle Plan, Draw Their Fire, and no Disintegrations. Using the Yoda, You Seek Yoda, or You Will Go to the Dagobah system. And then Patience with some defensive shields underneath there. I Must Be Allowed to Speak is an interesting choice. Like, it makes me wonder, is he going to Tatooine? And that's going to be interesting. We see the Patience with a bunch of white border Jedi tests because Chris hates beauty in all forms, apparently. Feel free to yell at me if you like white border. Everybody's allowed to be wrong. It's America here. So, shuffling it up. This is not a gimme match. It looks like... So, Benji's starting Nichubana. Is that the Dark Path? And then Mobile Points combo. And yeah, Tom saying the I Must Be Allowed to Speak might be a flexed effect with no farm, just counting on your opponent playing Tatooine. So this is going to be an interesting match, if nothing else. Like, I'm looking forward to seeing exactly where this goes. It's the first in the top 8. There were some players playing it yesterday. I don't know what everyone's total archetypes were. I know the decklist team is, I'm sure, already hard at work going through and rocking this all, so we will all get to learn quickly. So the Dark Path V is once per game. It adds hatred cards. Okay, so it's deploy on table, adds one dark side icon at each site where you have a hatred card. Once per game, target 2 battleground sites you occupy one at a time. Stack the top card of your lost pile face down as a hatred card at this location. So it's gonna allow Benji, after he loses one card, to turn both of those into 3/1 locations, which is an interesting play.
So Johnny was telling me yesterday that they put that in as a replacement for Quietly Observing. The jury is still out on whether or not it's good. I have a couple of back table updates to give. Did we give them the Hayes?
No, we
result?
did not.
Okay. So this was on the alternate stream, but Hayes Hunter won the first game over Andrew Moss by 15. And then the second game between Brian Fred and between Matt Scott and Matt Harrison Trainer is getting underway. The matchup is Matt Harrison Trainer playing Endor Ops. It's too early to tell what version. And Matt Scott is playing Mind What You Have Learned Virtual. The final game 1 is between Brian Fred and Joe Horby. It is about to conclude, and it would appear that Brian Fred is in line for a, let's call it, medium-sized win in that game.
All right, thank you very much for bouncing out and grabbing those while I drank water and tried to rest my voice, because this has been a long weekend of a lot of talking and just an awesome time. So we see some early polls there. Chris is playing Don't Do That Again after Benji goes and grabs Rendley to shut down the secondary text of that, along with is that the Goldenrod Shield? Well, maybe the Goldenrod Shield and the Grabber, and I think we'll see Benji probably grab his Grabber as well. Benji open-handed scanning crew. Oh my good lord! So I'm that would make me so happy. So there's a Might of the Republic before Benji activates, and we see Chris grab Leia, and then we see another puller going for the wild card. So we're gonna see some action here. And Benji should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7-ish force. And yeah, Chris has got playing the Yoda puller, or you'll go to the Dagobah system to grab Luke, or Son of Skywalker.
But if there's a scanning crew,
I will be so happy if there is. You have no idea. Like, I almost hope Tom is just trolling us because he's looking at a bigger screen than we are and can see that, because if Benji's got it, that would be amazing. So we see Benji grabbing so he must have a bridge puller, and he's probably doing an Ichiban pull. There's all of that.
yeah.
Yep, there's a whole lot of, it's Watto. You're going to pour a whole lot of cards out real quick. He's going to cause some damage right away. And yeah, if he has a scanning crew, that would be so amazing. And I would say such an amazing tech card, but this is a true Watto build, so
I'm going to say
any
this.
card in there could be
Chris Kelly last night not to play Mind What You Have Learned, because everyone would be teching for it on Benji's side of the bracket because of Andrew Moss. And Chris said, no, I'm going to play it.
Good for him. Like, play the deck you want to play.
Well, the deck he wanted to play was Hika. We just didn't let him play that one.
Yeah.
And then the second deck was this.
That's valid. I know when we were chatting a little bit yesterday, because he was contemplating trying to borrow
Profit
from me. Despite my telling him not to.
I was a proponent of Profit.
Well, I had recommended he not do it after he beat me in the warm-up event, and
I think that's a scanning crew. No, it's a masterful move combo.
Well, so
I think that's the card I thought was a scanning crew.
So,
No. He still has the. Isn't that a scanning crew?
No. So he's Wattoing down to cause 2 force loss, and then he's drawing a card.
Man, I can't see.
It's Gick, Force Push, Search and Destroy.
Search and Destroy. That was the card.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, scanning. Like, he could still draw into a scanning crew. Like, don't.
Do we know if there's one in his deck?
I have no idea. I didn't do his deck check,
Yeah.
so
that would be so.
That would be an amazing, and like I would absolutely believe it could happen.
Yeah.
And I think he might be trying to YOLO this a little bit and take this turn and force Chris to.
That's it. Search and Destroy is also a great card here, especially against Mind What You Have Learned on the first couple of turns.
Like, because Chris would have to.
He'd have to
defend it by.
He'd have to take a
Leia.
Turn off.
Yeah,
right? He'd have to take the turn off from doing what he wants to do.
But he did just mishap for Leia's blaster, so.
Yeah.
I think he very well might just take a turn off and try and go for it. And, Benji's got a plan for that, although he should have barriers and projectives and way to stop that.
I'm going to see if I can get a look at Benji's hand.
Battle from happening. So this is going to be an interesting. And there's the mishap being lost to the Search and Destroy damage, and Benji's just going to draw a few cards here, and he does have the Gick, so like he's not going to end up too destroyed if he. And that looked like a lateral damage. I'm craning my head like it's going to help me read the cards on the monitor. I'm praying you people aren't watching this and just trying to figure out exactly how dumb I am. I don't see any battle evasion, though. He's got the Gick, but that's it. So this could be a little interesting. Yep, Casey went over to ask Benji for a gander at his deck, and I know Benji and I chatted for a minute after his game. I tried to develop a friendship with these kids. They're awesome, awesome kids. And we chatted a little bit about, like, it's unfortunate it was unfortunate he lost by 20, but he has such a great attitude about it. He's like, look, I made top 8. Like, at the end of the day, I showed up, I made top 8, I had fun, and I played as well as I could. So he's amazing attitude about the game and everything in general. And Chris is just getting started here.
So Benji had a Gick, but he also drew into a projective telepathy.
Okay, I couldn't tell if he drew into the projective. I knew he had the Gick from the Masterful. I was trying to watch what he drew into and figure out if he had it. So the projective probably helps him a bunch here. So, and I wonder if Chris is going to take that super aggressive line, or if Chris is going to say, look, I just need to lose by less than 20 and do I'm going to get my test. I'll get, one more turn of damage in, and then I will go with Leia plus. Because the other side is, like, if he goes with Leia now, he hits Watto and eliminates Watto. Benji's got Maul Invader in hand. Like, there is a risk that, we see here's Maul on top of Leia, hit her, make her forfeit 0, and you're going to peel more than you would have just ignoring the drain action for a turn. So I'm not sure what Chris's thought process is. Because he would have activated 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 force. So he theoretically could do, I think, Son of Skywalker to start the test and Leia. But then you are absolutely dead to the projective, and you're dead to being able to respond in any way, and it might be
Hey, Fred. First game.
Oh, we're by 19.
All right, so Brian Fred wins by 19 in the first game. So we had differentials of 20, 20, 19, and 15.
Which are big wins, but not insurmountable. Like, those are... And there we do see Chris taking the aggressive line. And so we see Leia, and Benji does not have a response. We see the I must be allowed to speak pull, which I'm going to have to chat with Chris later, because I didn't see a farm in there. Like, did he literally just...
No, it's just tech for this.
It's literally just if I play Benji, I have tech? Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. Like, honestly, that's... Why not? And there's the reflection, so he can retrieve, and I'm sure we'll see Benji throwing out secret plans right away.
It's not just tech for Benji, it's also tech for Andrew Moss's entanglements.
Okay, so yeah, there's two.
They are in the same half of the bracket, but it's like there are decks that play on Tatooine.
Yeah, and as an alternate, your third starting effect, I don't hate it. So there's Captain Han with Leia.
But that's unfortunately gonna lock him out of the battle because of projective.
Yeah, that's... Was it going to lock him out of the battle or just lock him out of the shot? Or yeah, that'll... Because Han's 4, isn't he?
Well, locking... If you're not gonna get the shot, I would cancel the battle.
Agreed. Like...
Although, well, if he's got Han's gun too.
Yeah.
Because that was Han's gun.
That's Han's gun. He went and pulled...
That can shoot for free, so then I might as well...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although, if Han costs 4, he is locked out of the battle.
He's locked out of the battle. He's got 2 force left.
Yeah. So, that's... Although it will allow him to then sit on the 1 if Benji comes back at him.
Yes.
Like, he can still kill Watto, which is potentially bad. I mean, I don't think... Benji didn't have anything like a Sniper Dark Strike, which would have been...
In my history of playing against Watto, they always have a second Watto.
Oh, yeah. The issue is Benji pulled this one from reserve, so he doesn't have one in hand.
You're missing what I'm saying. They always have a second Watto in hand. It doesn't matter if they don't. They always do, magically. It just happens.
It looks like
He didn't. Did he not?
He did not projective.
Yeah. So Chris does have 2 force left.
Does Chris battle for free? I'm not.
Um,
So Benji just
kicked the battle. Chris
let it
does
go
have
through.
2 force. Maybe he had another one that we weren't.
Did he? Oh, battle order first strike. Benji would have had to pay 1 for projective, so he battled for free.
He battled for free because of battle order first
Yeah,
strike,
so
and Benji didn't have the force to pay 1.
Benji had 1 force left, so he could pay for Gick or
projective, and Chris had the force to pay for projective. So that's actually a good play from Benji.
Yeah, so that was very smart by Benji.
It does get rid of search and destroy. It's very unfortunate.
Yeah, but I think, like, you knew that battle and that beatdown was coming. The question's going to be, how do you react and respond to it? And I could absolutely see a double-bladed maul here and just wipe out Leia, Reflection, Leia's gun, and Han. Like, Han can send his gun to used, but that's... Like, I'm perfectly okay with that, and I think Benji's got to decide if he wants to Dark Path. Because of the way Dark Path is worded, putting that Hatred card there adds an icon, which means it turns them both into Drain 3 sites as well, which is a little unfortunate. I'm not sure what Benji searched for there, but whatever it was, he didn't find it, and he did give up a Verify to Chris. Alright, it looks like we see in chat that Chris did have a pretty rough game with Hitco versus Anders IE and Entanglements deck yesterday, and that's... Had I not played First Order, Entanglements was the other deck I was considering, and that tracks. It can definitely do a decent amount of damage against mains.
I mean, I did talk this over with Chris Kelly. He really didn't have a good feel for the matchup yesterday. We talked it over. We talked over the lines. I think he feels much better about it going into today.
Yeah, it's not unwinnable, but I do think...
I think it's a good matchup for Hitco.
Okay. I've played a chunk of it both ways, and I think it's... I think Entanglements is lightly favored. I don't think it's unwinnable. Like, I would probably say it's a 55-45 Entanglements. It's not the matchup you really want to see. And there, Benji throws out the There's No Tri-Shield for free with Min, who backed up Sebulba. And he might just be letting it... Yeah, he's not going to Suicide Maul right away. He's going to find a little bit of defense, and there's a barrier. So he's looking at having a few more defense things, but like Chris did a lot of pulling and a lot of stuff basically to get himself to having that pile at Watto's yard, and if Benji can get rid of it, that would be pretty impactful. So
yeah, and there's Kyle. There's having a good matchup, and then there's beating Andrew Moss. Those are different things.
Yeah,
but
it's... There are times when, yes, you might be able to do it, but it's still... Being able to do it against the general public and being able to do it against the guy who plays it all the time are two wildly different things. So, and there we see Adrena 3 from there. Benji loses 2 We Must Accelerates and a Palpatine Galactic Emperor, and stacks it intentionally to keep the Galactic Emperor on top, which is interesting. And now we see the Jedi Test 1 come out from Patience on a Skywalker. That in and of itself is probably fairly immaterial. I don't think Benji's really counting on any Force Drain modifiers. Like, he wants to do damage with battle, and we did see the Boba Fett Bounty Hunter in Benji's hand along with the Vader. That might be what he's going to do, is just drop those guys and go to town, and all these, if he hits one guy, like, he's probably not causing overflow though with that, and he has to be at least a little leery of Leia's gun hitting Boba. and creating a problem. So we'll see how he does what he wants to do here. I'm going to check Dark Path and remember exactly when he can. Once per game, so he could theoretically Dark Path now to add the 2 icons, so he'd activate 2 more force next turn. So he'd have it, and I think he might be waiting on that for that turn where it's going to be impactful.
Yeah.
Because it does add an icon, which means it
increases the drain.
Yeah, it risks an extra drain. And there we see Chris throwing Ray down with Han and Leia, which is not great. Like, he's just backing up Watto's yard, and Benji's got to go do something to get rid of it, and that was why I might have considered, although he'd lost the Gick already, the EPP Maul, hit them both, and just hope you don't get hit and call it a day. Like, Han draws it a +2, but Maul's still at 6, so you still need to draw a 5. Like, it's not a gimme that you're going to get there. And I think when you're down 20, needing to go in and needing to win by 20,
you need to ball out.
There are lines you have to take that are slightly more risky because you don't want to get this turned into a grind game. Like, Watto doesn't win a grind game anyways, but you really don't want it when you need to win big. So, and we see, yep, Chris just recycling. So Benji does not Dark Path to add that 1 icon to each. He might not have really needed to. Like, 2 more force would have been cutting him a little bit slim. So he's going and searching for something here. Oh, Chris draws his Jedi Test Destiny. And he draws a 5 and a 4. The 5 should pass. I think he was deciding if he wanted to Yoda either one of those, and he chose not to. And now Benji's searching his reserve deck for something. Might have been with Nichu Bana. One of them lets you search for something. Those Destiny are not great. And there's a decided lack of numbers, so I'm not sure if Benji's actually playing his own deck, or he might have borrowed this from somebody who doesn't hate fun as much as
I would assume that
numbers.
This is the deck that his father played yesterday.
I would say that's a reasonable assumption. I don't know exactly what Johnny played yesterday, but
this looks to be very close to the deck that Johnny played on stream yesterday.
And there's a force push. So, and actually, Benji's got a force field in hand he could have done some work with as well. I'm not sure what card he grabbed. I think he might have put 2 infiltrators back. Put back 2 blue cards, it looked like, and those would be reasonable to have in the deck and also to just get rid of there. Oh, Dr. Ian Ponda. Okay. Yep, that's a
good card.
That's going to make things real interesting here real quick.
Especially if you can find a Watto to pair with them and then go down and take out Leia so that she can't shoot Watto.
Yeah.
Alright, here's Vader.
Alright, so we're going to see him going with the Vader
Dr. E plan. Vader and Maul.
Okay.
I assume he has enough for Dr. E.
Dr. E? Like, okay,
yeah.
So... And he's got the force field to stop a shot at one of the Dark Jedi.
Man, if he has Watto. I don't think he has the Watto.
He doesn't have Watto, but honestly, this is still
good.
He can still just hit all 3 guys and eliminate it.
Yeah.
But like,
Chris says hang on.
Yeah, he's figuring out if there's some sort of weird text.
Yeah.
So, and he handles the second.
He's gonna use the I can handle myself to
cancel the Destiny that would have missed, and now he shoots at Dr. Ian Ponda.
I just want to make an important note that in the Constellation event, AJ has a proton bomb deployed on one of his ships.
A what?
A proton bomb.
Okay.
I know. I think it's the card that collapses sites.
Apparently.
Oh, like on a tie bomber.
In Constellation, AJ Hatum is trying to TIE bomber things, and
So, what AJ was telling me was in the consolation event, what the Minnesota players do is they do no such thing as luck format just between themselves. So they all shuffle up their decks. They all put their decks together. They all shuffle up their decks, and they all assign each other random decks from within the Minnesota player pool. And what AJ told me this morning when I spoke to him was that he had randomly ended up with both of Mark Walseth's decks.
oh, good lord.
So I think it's fair to say that Mark Walseth has TIE bombers in his dark side deck.
That surprises me not at all. So the end result of this battle here, Maul got shot by Han. Leia did end up getting cut, but Leia was the only character hit.
And no Dr. E.
Yeah, Dr. E had already been Leia's gunned away.
So the I can handle myself really worked out well for Chris Kelly.
That handle put in a lot of work because and also reflection making her defense value +1.
Yes.
Because the first Destiny was a 5, and reflection making her defense +1 was huge because it forced Chris to handle it, let Chris wait on the handle. And we see Chris doing the take into hand to cancel and redraw with Yoda to grab. Looked like they're tracking us. Draws a total of 9. Benji loses Maul and Vader. And Chris is going to lose Leia. And he will 0-4. So he's going to lose Rey first and then Leia. And he's got an Unita in deck now. So.
Yeah. But that's okay. You know,
Yeah.
Benji needed to do a lot more than that. He lost 3 characters in that battle. He does have another Maul in hand. Looks like he might have drawn into a Grievous, but
yeah.
Benji needed to do overflow that battle, and he didn't even clear the site.
Benji needed to, at minimum, clear the site. I think Benji's ideal would have been hit Leia, Han shoots Dr. E, and you're fine with it. And then you hit the other 2, and you walk out of there with Maul and Vader at the site. And Chris's guys all chilling in Lost Pile. And with that not working, Benji's on a back foot a little bit there. There he throws away a Sebulba and loses a Watto off the top.
Oof.
That's a little rough. I'd assume there's 3 Wattos in the deck. He doesn't have a no escape to get another one back. And there we see the Test 2 come out and sand. The Test 2 is potentially going to be interesting, although Sebulba draws if not able to otherwise Atmos Espa. And I think, no, Sebulba's only ability 2. As I said, he might have, because Min's ability 3.
He does not have 6 ability there.
Yeah, but
Sebulba
draws, so it doesn't matter. And we see a handle and Bith Shuffle stacked on sand, which is also potentially good for Chris, as it tells him if he drops a female character there, he can go get that handle at any point. And he uses Yoda to cancel and redraw to take the handle into hand. And has another Bith Shuffle. I mean, Benji's got to be okay with seeing that because he does have a barrier in hand, which means his barrier likely goes through. I can't imagine Chris is running 3 Bith Shuffle combos. But Chris says, well, I'm going to put down Ahsoka, who's subtracts 1 from each battle destiny, is immune to less than 5, and most importantly, cannot be targeted by permanent weapons, which is what Benji's going to be doing in there. And Chris just moves Luke over so he can attempt Jedi Test 2 here in a second. And Benji needs to clear Yoda's yard at some point, and I don't know that he has the cards to do it with that Ahsoka. That Ahsoka is going to be a problem. And Ezra should be either letting Chris activate 2 or reducing Benji's activation by 2. I didn't see it get pointed out, but I do believe, is Ezra a may or a must? I don't even remember. We do have an active judge watching it, so I'm going to assume they did it correctly. Yeah, if at the start of a opponent turn, if an opponent side opponent chooses. So, My guess is Benji may have just taken the -2. His activation's actually not terrible right there. And I think between the active judge and Chris and Benji, who is as card knowledgeable as basically anyone I've ever talked
Benji
to.
can be his own active judge.
Yeah. Benji could play and active judge the game next to him and still be doing fine. So there we see Maul come down again. Chris playing a "Were you looking for me?" to go grab 3PO.
This is the second game.
Yep.
Chris Kelly won the first game by 20.
I put it up there. It's kind of
It's
hiding
kinda
in the
blended
chat.
into the chat, yeah, but
So whoever set that up is. I may play and see if I can shrink the chat box just a little bit to show that, because yeah, Chris won the first game by 20, and Benji's on his back feet here to try and get another win either way. So, and we see Chris playing, they're tracking us, I think, just to activate a force. No, he... Oh, past Jedi Test 2.
mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay.
So Jedi Test 2 is passed. Benji needs 6 ability to draw Battle Destiny. Maul happens to have exactly that 6 ability, so he is just fine there as far as that goes. Benji, I guess, is hoping there's not a single Battle Destiny he can draw that kills Ahsoka right now. Because a 7 becomes a 6 when Ahsoka subtracts 1, and then he reduces the attrition by 2. Unless he's got an entire Legion and an Aura's Blaster in there somewhere.
Or a sand effect.
Yeah. And instead he just... I mean, he's got the force field to stop the control phase shot, but, I don't love any of that, and I think he's kind of giving himself a quick count and figuring out where he's at force pile-wise. This is when commentary on Gemp is way easier, because I can just see it in quick math.
I don't know that he's got 20 left.
I think he's close. I mean, he paid 7.
He does have a big hand.
Yeah, I think he's not dead yet, but he is closer than he would like to be, I believe. So I think we're going to see you got to see the Captain Han.
He's got about 10 cards in hand.
Take a shot, and there's the force field. And Chris is going to grab the force field, which makes sense. And that did blow the once per game on Han's control phase shot, which probably doesn't come into play.
That's
but
fine. That's fine.
It's... So, and I don't know what Benji's plan to survive this battle is. Chris goes for a search.
It's good destinies.
Yeah, that's Anakin Saber, or a Saber, maybe a Ahsoka Saber.
I think there's a 1 in there, and everything else is 4 or higher.
Yeah, there was one character it looked like, and then...
Oh, the character was a Lando Scoundrel.
And the Ahsoka Saber is a 5.
Oh, so everything is 4 or higher.
Yeah, that's... Misa thinking Maul is in some trouble here. If I'm Chris, I might actually just even throw down here's 3PO and just throw a little more power out there. And looks like he's got a Chewie in hand. There's Sabine Padawan, who is also immune to permanent weapons. And I think Benji's thinking, do I barrier her or not? I think he was asking Chris for a count, and Chris has still got a pile of cards there. Yeah, so there's the barrier, which is smart. But Benji is playing...
Yeah, but there's Chewie. New Chewie with blaster rifle.
New Chewie with blaster... Okay. So that's an interesting choice. I know we talked a lot about it, and on the drive here, about is Chewie with bowcaster just infinitely better because he hits so much easier.
Yes.
Where it's a 2-draw. That was our choice too. The Ellie, who wrote up with me and Nick and AJ, played Mind Which You Have Learned yesterday, and they went with Chewie with Bowcaster because it's just you're so much more likely to hit.
Yeah. I mean the advantage of Chewie with blaster rifle is that he is the virtual version is a Cloud City character, so he does force the no disintegrations. Chris Kelly, being a designer, it does have a proclivity towards new cards.
Yeah. And there we see him. I'm not sure what they're. He's shuffling his used pile after using the I must be allowed to speak pull. And he paid another 3, which is another Princess Leia. And he's leaving himself enough force that even if Benji plays the projective and warping Luke over there. Oh.
Well, now he could get hit by projective.
Now projective could do some work.
He's going to get used pile pull out of this.
Yeah. And I think it might be that blaster deflection. Sure looks like a good card to pull.
Yeah.
Nope, I don't think it was.
Does he have a sense?
I'm not sure. Son of Skywalker, you mean, Pat? That he can grab him from the last pile? Yeah, there's lots of things he can do to... Luke being lost isn't really going to hurt him, but I think he is going to walk into the projective here. And, yep, there's the projective. And there's...
Oh, he's going to activate 2 force when Benji plays an interrupt, and he's going to pay for the projective. Great move.
Ooh, nice. Yep, that was... good game, Benji. That was excellently played by Chris.
Yep.
Like, I don't know how else to say that. And I assume we're swinging with the lightsaber. There's a 4 and a 5. So, yep. Maul's hit.
And Benji's going to play this out. He's not.
Go out in style. Murder as many things as you can on your way out the door, Benji. I approve fully. Like, he's going to chop somebody. Nope, he just declines the swing, goes straight to Battle Destiny. And I think they're probably doing some math here.
There's the handshake.
There's the handshake. Congratulations to Chris Kelly making top 4.
And congratulations to Benji Chu. What an incredible run this weekend.
Absolutely. That was spectacular. So we're going to take a short break here. We're actually going to stop the stream while we do this, just to allow it to be chopped up a little easier and for folks to try and catch up, having it as, separate instead of one giant long stream with a huge break in the middle. So I'm going to stop the stream. We will be back with our top 4 match in a little while.
This is the last card.
I hope everybody's enjoying it. I know we are. We'll see you in a bit.